but, okay. And I can't do both. You should know that by now.
Shane's the vice chair, isn't he?
It was, Mike,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah.
But usually I do pass it down to Shane. Thank you for reminding me. I
Man with
love that.
All right,
Awesome. Look at that.
let's keep rolling. Call to order.
Okay, Commissioner Staker,
Here.
Commissioner Ellison,
Here.
Commissioner Miller, absent. Commissioner Root.
Here.
Commissioner Klein,
Here.
Commissioner Slutz,
Here.
Commissioner Berger.
Here.
Okay.
Move to approve the agenda.
Right,
I usually don't do that, but
well, it's next.
yeah.
So I did the minutes. We all know I'm lousy at them. And then I also put the minutes from the previous meeting because we adjusted that.
Anything on the December 12th minutes that need revised, or someone want to move to approve them?
I'll move to approve.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. All right. Communication form.
Do we want to do introductions?
Yes,
Okay.
we do.
Okay. You wanna start? Okay, I'm Melissa. Been here for 13 years or so, 15, 13, 25.
I'm Kristen and new to all this.
I'm Douglas, and I don't live in town. I don't know if anybody else is here from out of town.
I think it's just you. So on the commission, several years ago, we changed it so we could have 2 out-of-town seats. So Douglas is filling one of them, and Liz Seidel had been the other seat, and then when she left, we just filled it with an in-town.
So do they have to live in the school district? Or, oh,
Yeah.
they do, okay.
Yep.
Can't just be from Iowa City or
No.
West Liberty or,
No, I
okay, okay.
Yeah, I'm a ringer, they brought me in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know what the restrictions were.
I'm Shane Staker. Do you guys know Kristen at all? Any of you guys? No? So tell a little bit more about you.
Oh.
Like kids.
Yeah, so I've been in
You're the new one.
West Branch since like, I moved here in like 2000 maybe. And Robert's my husband, and we have 3 boys. And I work for the University Hospital as a nurse practitioner down in Riverside Clinic.
All right, you're next.
Oh, I'm next.
Yes.
So basically, you just introduced yourself and pushed off.
Why nobody?
I'm just
I didn't know if you
kidding.
guys
I'm
knew
kidding.
her or not, so I just wanted to.
James
bit more.
Ellison. I've only been doing this for what? Under a year. So yeah, yeah, right. I'm actually under a year, but only part time because I think I've missed quite a few with the kids. So
Okay, I'm Christopher Slutz, Chris. Live in town here, work for the Conservation Board. A year. Made it a year.
Tom Berger,
Made it a year.
I live in town as well. I don't know how long I've been on this, I guess.
It's under a year.
Yeah. I don't remember when I started.
Yeah.
Showed up to my
So
first meeting,
his
I wasn't
wife is
approved,
Berger.
so.
That's okay, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah. Yep. He's known as Mrs. Berger's husband.
Better known as that.
And then Angie Miller's our other commission member, and she's out ill today.
All right. Let's see here. We need to move to approve chairman, vice president, secretary.
Yes.
So where are we at with that? I was gone last meeting, so.
We didn't talk about it all. Would anybody like to step up as chair? Would anybody like to step up as any of them?
At the last meeting, I told Angie that if she didn't want to continue as the chair, I would
Yes.
help her out.
I will move to.
Because I knew that Shane did not want to do anything.
We're jumping the moon.
I can move, right? I'm not. I will move to approve Doug Klein as chairperson. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Awesome. All right.
Just
Man, I think that's the quickest we've ever done something.
I didn't want to hear. I wasn't gonna wait for the
there's
but.
no desperation.
No.
Shouldn't have said you're a ringer.
All right.
I wasn't gonna vote for you till you said you're a ringer.
Vice chairperson. So we need someone that typically you'd like this person to become the chairperson. So, I mean, it's how is it just for? Is it a year at a time?
We
Okay, so
re-vote
a year at a
every
time.
year.
So, anybody interested in, as far as that would want to take over next year, that would be the vice for the year. It's not really.
It can't be me.
No.
I will.
And I
Angie's
don't want
not
to.
here.
I nominate Angie.
But
Snooze,
but
you
she-
lose,
but she
you know,
was-
it's
she
not
was the chairperson, so she. I don't know. It'd be nice to have.
Rotating.
I know, it's like looking that way.
We don't want Kristen to quit right away either, by saying she's the vice. So I don't know. One of you three guys interested?
The heck with it. I'm here most of the time.
That's excellent.
Nice.
I was
Go
gonna
for
say, I'm not here as much.
I move that Chris be elected,
Okay.
nominated for the vice chair.
I will second that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Secretary.
So I've been doing it. I can continue to do it. I don't have to do it. If somebody else really wants to do it, that's fine.
I do not want.
Well, let's go, Speedy.
I would not.
Where's the nomination?
Oh, sorry. Well, do we nominate? Do you have to nominate you to be it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'll nominate Melissa to be secretary and continue.
Okay.
For many
Second.
years.
Wow.
All in favor? Oh, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. All right.
Okay.
All right. Next is
Oh,
move to action of the
did a-
schedule.
Yep, so I went ahead and we have been meeting on the second Tuesday of the month. This is the second Tuesday, second Thursday. Things do come up. I realize but it's nice to be able to have kind of a set guideline that way. So, anyway, I marked that out. This year when I did it, I didn't notice any, I did put it in your packet, didn't I?
Yeah, I have a
Okay.
conflict with the April 9th
Okay,
date,
okay.
and the only good day for me that week is, well, either Monday or Tuesday.
It's a long ways away.
It is. But that's, nonetheless, I do
Yeah.
have a conflict.
Okay. Anybody else have any conflicts on that date that they want?
I know that Wednesdays are easier for me to get here than Thursdays are, but I'm just throwing that out there. Just because there's no kids' activities on Wednesday nights, but I know there's church activities, so.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to me.
So Tuesday, April 7th,
We
how's
can
that
do-
look?
Yep, that's, I checked the calendar here, so this building is open, so that's, okay. Okay. Do you guys wanna stick with Thursdays, or you wanna move that?
I think, as of right now, I would rather do Thursdays, but
Okay.
it's, every night is.
Wednesdays are tough for me, so.
Let's change to what?
April 7th.
7?
So the goal is we're gonna aim for Thursdays, with the exception of.
Yeah, the rest of the
April.
calendar looks good to me.
Okay. Yeah, it was amazing. We didn't hit a spring break. We didn't hit state track. We didn't hit, I mean, that is a miracle.
Pretty good.
All right, so do we need to make a motion to approve that as official, or? I'll make a motion to approve the schedule as said on Thursdays, except for, the April 7th meeting will be on a Tuesday.
Yeah, I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right, so moved. Programs, Melissa.
So, how did I phrase it in the agenda here? I was just gonna give a quick little update on our winter programs. We've got adult volleyball that's starting on Sunday at the gym. We have 8 teams. So that's working pretty well. We still have walking that's going on in the gym in really early mornings, 5 to about 6. Tracy Schudy's been opening it for the group because she gets there earlier, and then I usually come in at the end and the tail end for the walkers. There's about, on average, I could be completely off, 10 people that are meeting. I have gotten requests for, we've done Wednesday evening before, and that's kind of hit or miss at the Hoover Gym. We do it early. I've gotten not complaints from the group, that's walking, but other people that they would like a later time. But we can't really use the school later in the morning. I mean, that's not really an option. We have to get in there. I mean, and even when we're getting in there, kids are coming in for practice. We all know that's what they're doing early in the morning. So, so that's going pretty well. Let's see, we have that. We have, we're doing some virtual challenges this year. So we're doing 2020 miles in 2020. It's an online registration. There's no prizes. So it's your own journey. So you can sign up with a team, or you can sign up as individuals, or both. You know, you can be on you can be on a team and still individual, and then monthly tracking or weekly, however you want to, just to kind of stay motivated to move. So you can walk, run. If you just want to count your steps, because that's an improvement for you. You know, whatever it is, it's your own thing. Bike, swim, elliptical, whatever. Just kind of something to try. And then in the summer, we're going to do some different things, like a marathon series, where we'll have or a trail series. Like you need to complete so many of the trails, and I'll have different ones marked out through the area. You know, West Branch, but hit some parks. There's some other communities and things like that. So just some different things. Trying to increase programming, but not necessarily increase the amount of, not the work. It's still work, but it's more office work. You know what I mean? It's not like if we host a race, it's a lot of manpower and a lot of volunteers that need to be boots on the ground. This is kind of, people are doing it themselves. So. Gonna give it a shot. We will then, so that's kind of what we have going on right now. It's kind of a little bit of a slow time. And then tot time is still going on Wednesday mornings. Jamie's kind of been organizing that. She's doing a good job. And then we're ramping up for spring and summer programs. So if this is a perfect time, if anybody has any suggestions or anything that they would like to see different, this is like the awesome month to let me know, because I'm working on that actively for summer stuff. Anybody have anything?
Not directly, would be separate from that necessarily, and it might be something that you might know the answer, Doug. Someone said something in fact just tonight about the dog park. Was there ever a plan to have lights out there?
There was never a plan for that.
Will they ever get lights out there? Because when it's dark, what people are doing,
5 p.m.
people are going out there and it's, still early evening, and they're just turning their car lights on, and so they can see what they're doing. And I don't know if it's something down the road that is a possibility, but I think that
There is a lamp or a light post out there with
Yeah,
a light.
It's really bad.
It's like almost a
basically-
black light.
Basically, they
That's what it is. It's
Yeah.
weird. It's just, you look at it and you're like, what is that?
the lighting.
See.
The lighting's
You don't wanna
terrible.
see the lights.
Yeah.
So it's anyway just something
Yeah,
to think about, I guess, and if possible, I don't know where that would. I don't know how difficult it would be. In fact, I had someone that said they would donate the light, like which would be like a street type light, but I don't know how hard where electrical is and what if you have to put a new post up if there's one out there. I don't know.
Right.
I haven't looked that close at it. So, anyway, just thought I'd bring it up.
I think the dog park rules are till dusk, if I remember correctly on the sign. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So
is
they're
it?
not really supposed to be there after dark anyway. Not that that matters about
Right.
anything, but yeah. I'll check into it.
Okay.
I'll see. I don't know anything about, do you have any idea about power, from a conservation standpoint? Or,
I don't know where the service would be coming from
yeah,
or anything there. I haven't looked.
Maybe just
I know
light-
that pipeline goes right there, but I don't know.
well, there has to be something if there's a light post out
Right,
there.
I haven't looked at it, I guess, that closely.
Yeah,
I'm never out there in the dark.
I have no idea.
And it's been so nice, people are using the dog park. Usually this time of year, it's snow and ice and you don't wanna be out there, but,
Yeah.
What about changing the bulb?
I don't know. I guess I mean look see how far away is it from
Put
the
LED
park?
fixtures.
I thought it was right.
Is it pretty close?
Right
It's
there.
Just not.
Yeah,
a,
it's just
not
the
a good
bulb
light.
is
yeah.
useless.
Okay.
It's on.
So maybe
It
that's
looks
a
like it's on
possibility.
anyways, but it could have just been, because when I looked, there was a car with the lights on. So I don't know if that was just reflecting off of it or whatever, but it just,
Well, I don't. What the person told me was that it just it's very you can't see anything like. it's just-
yeah, the
it's
light's
not-
useless.
yeah.
I just know it's there
It's not-
because
I just don't know how far
it's
away it was.
actually,
Is it on the power pole or is it on,
it's just on a,
oh, so it wouldn't be Alliance, would it? Probably not. It's probably something they put in.
I don't know. I just, from, and
Was it
like I said,
still
I
there
just
when it was
randomly
on that?
saw it,
That's what
so I
I
don't
wondered.
even know if it's right in the middle of the park or if it's right next to it. I almost want to say it's right in the middle, almost right in the middle.
I'm trying to think, I know, I'm trying to think where it is.
I just remember looking at the bulb and going, how useless is this?
So maybe that's a possibility.
Yeah.
Just change it out. with
Right.
One of the LEDs, and maybe that would make the difference.
Yeah. Okay.
I have a question about the
Yeah.
basketball court down in the Veronic Park.
Mhm.
Is that supposed to be used as like an ice skating rink?
It was designed that way. So we can flood it, we can close up the things and flood it. Past few years, it really had, so we haven't done it for a couple of reasons. I hate that it's so isolated down there, and I do worry if somebody goes down when they're skating, that nobody's gonna find them. You know what I mean? That
If
they're,
they're by themselves.
Yeah. so I have, maybe it's just because I'm.
Has there been a lot of
scared.
requests for it?
There's been a few, but we haven't flooded it as long as I've been director. But we could, definitely.
Yeah, I don't know how you would keep people off of it though, like if you tried to do like certain timing, I mean, because it would be frozen all the time.
Right. Right. Yeah. So, but that's how it was designed
Mhm.
for that.
I know another town that has that, and it gets used quite a bit
Yeah,
for activity.
that's my only concern. And I don't know how we would avoid that. Because I mean, really, if somebody, and you know, kids are always monkeying around.
Yeah. But that's the case on all the equipment too. I
Yes,
mean,
anything. any
Well, yeah,
playground.
that's true. I'm just a horrible ice skater. I just know that when I'm hitting that ice with
You
the
would go by
blade.
Yeah.
It used to be good, but that's what, we get a good hard freeze every time, this lifetime,
Yeah.
this winter.
Maybe you could see if
We
there's
could-
any interest.
Yeah,
Freeze
Yeah.
it over and see if anybody comes out.
yeah. We looked into, I can't even, it was several years ago. We looked in, somebody was getting rid of their old ice skates. It was an old, they were
Mhm.
changing them out, and we looked into purchasing those so that we could have skates to rent out to people. Because that's another thing too, a lot of people don't have skates anymore. Because they don't need them, they're not skating on the ponds or the rivers, they're going to controlled environment. So, but no, we can definitely check into that if it ever freezes.
This weekend.
Yes.
Saturday night.
Fill her up. Any other programs, discussion? Anybody have anything else?
Got the Easter egg hunt coming up. It is really I know it's in April, but it's
It's gonna be here before you know it,
I know.
honestly.
ways away.
So we need to set a date on the next meeting or two for it?
What do you want to do? We've been doing the Saturday before Easter, I think.
Which one is?
It's April. Easter's in April.
Easter's the 12th, I think. Yeah, the 12th, yeah. You can see that without reading glasses?
Yeah, for now.
So you're thinking about doing it on the 11th?
We had always done it the Saturday before. It's all in.
Fourth?
Or is it
Is that the 4th?
11.
on the 11th?
What is it, 10?
Is it- Yeah, 10.
Usually set up starting about 8, 7:30, 8.
So do we want to move the location to the park,
Oh, yeah.
to Cuppy?
That's a great idea.
We have grass.
Yes.
And if it rains, you can still go inside, right?
Yeah.
Over.
Yeah. We've never had to move it inside. It's been really, really close a lot of times.
It will now that we have moved
Yeah.
it.
Yes, it will, because that will really add to the confusion when we're redirecting people. I might actually see if I can block off instead of, if we're moving that, the high school instead.
Is there anything that would keep us from doing it there in that early in the spring?
No.
Should be fine. Okay. Yeah, I'm all for that.
Yeah, might as well showcase it.
We have, I've been approached by a couple of various leagues about doing a high school league, not me managing, somebody else managing it, out at the new ball fields. So end of March and through April, so they might be all up and running with full concession stand at that time. But it would be nice if we wanted to have an opening day event or something to really celebrate it.
Kickball
Yeah. Something.
tournament.
There you go. Just Shane?
All right. Any other discussion?
What do you say, Mister?
Oh,
That's coming up,
yeah. Okay,
to be discussed.
yep,
Good. Go on to reviewing policies.
okay. So the council has decided that they would like to go with a permitting system for alcohol at the parks and not just to allow it in. So, yeah. I know that wasn't the commission recommendation, but that was, and even then, I think council might be split when it comes down to it. I'm pretty sure that there's still gonna be discussion over it.
So what was the result of Mike's presentation?
He did a great job. He did a great job. They listened. They didn't really ask any questions. There wasn't a lot of question and answer. But then,
So they're amending the policies and regulations,
the code,
the council,
yes,
and this is what they want to do.
yes, yes.
And they're showing this to us for our information.
I am showing it to you.
Ah.
So I did a sample, I've been working on a code change based on what they've requested.
The only thing I see missing on here is like they have telling you what you should do, like trash, all patrons are responsible for proper cleanup and dispose of their trash, receptacles provided to this class containers are not permitted. It doesn't say if you don't do it, what.
Well, and that was
Like,
one,
It does down back here,
Mhm.
it says if you damage, then will result in assessment for the cost of replacement materials and resulting labor, but if somebody goes there, leaves their trash all over the place, is there a repercussion for that? Do they, you know what I mean, like there's no,
Mhm.
you would,
Like a pickup cleaning fee or something?
yeah, there should be something that lets them know that,
well, there would be possibly with your reservation system, we can talk about that.
okay.
But this is the trash part, except the glass containers, I just rewrote what we had in other codes, and I can look, guess in reviewing other towns' codes, I don't ever think that there was a consequence for just patrons not picking up their trash. It would just be a general littering fine. Well, we can reference that.
Yeah, I was just curious, like, because it says you're supposed to, but you have repercussions for damage, but you don't
Right.
have anything,
Right.
I don't know,
Yes, I can,
it might be hard to go after them and say, hey, you guys didn't clean up, and say we have to. I mean, it says we should, but it doesn't say what happens if we don't. I
Right.
guess.
Well, it says they'll be assessed for the cost of replacement and resulting labor.
For damage.
Right.
I mean, I don't know if you consider garbage damage necessarily, isn't just.
well, if it takes staff time to clean it up,
Yeah, okay. That's the only thing I really, I guess, kind of stood out to me was that, so.
I can look into that. I don't think, the other thing I don't have in here is, council wanted some sort of fine attached if people didn't have a permit, you know, and they reported they were drinking in the park without that. They wanted some sort of fine attached with that. I didn't think that I didn't put it in here because I didn't think that this is necessarily the place to do it. This is the park and regulations. But we can redirect and figure out what the fine is for that. There has to be a fine for, it's not public intoxication. What would it be, open container or something?
Why not just call the police?
Right, but
Because we have somebody in violation of park policy and get the police to arrest them.
right, but when in writing this, they wanted to put that there will be a fine for that. So yes, that can be what we do.
Well, let's just put them in jail.
Well, that could be something. Sure, how about I write that down? So I need to, I guess, look and see what our current fine is so I can just redirect because it would fall back under open container. And I don't know what the fine is for that. If you're walking down the public street with a beer, I have no idea what the fine
Yeah,
for that is.
and you could just say, I mean, it'd be considered open container,
Yeah,
whatever the
right.
local ordinance is, so that'd be pretty simple.
So this is going for all the parks now.
Well, we'll see. That's how I wrote it.
Okay.
So now that means Bronic's gonna change for us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I was
they want
wondering.
Veronic to change.
Okay.
Is that the motivation?
No, not really. It was just kind of on board. They would like a different system. I think that and in researching. So I did a lot of researching and a lot of what different codes and most towns have in their code either no alcohol in the park or they have by permit. You know, by special event by permit or things like that. So it is a normal thing in the code. If you speak with their directors and their law enforcement officials, you will find that's not the practice. You know, that's not how it is, but it's still there, so I don't know what else to say.
Okay.
So I guess I would like feedback because of that. The other thing, not in the alcohol thing, the reservation system. I'm struggling with this one, and this is so silly to be struggling with it. So currently how it goes is people can make reservations online. They can stop in the office here and fill out a form. They call me. You know what I mean? I put it on the calendar, and then they do that. And then payments are kind of dropped off here at the office for town hall, things like that. But then when we go to schedule the ball fields and like the soccer fields and those and for flag football, that just goes directly through me because it would put everybody in here over the edge to do that. So then I'm wondering, should we just have all park reservations go through one central location, or how should I word that? Do you know what I'm saying? Because it can be confusing to people
Who
to,
you really have to call.
yes,
That makes sense. Just to have one
right,
standardized.
yeah. And we're working on an online system. We're changing right now, we have just a Google Calendar, and that works pretty well, but we're working on upgrading that so that there'll be time blocks for the parks as well as for the fields and things like that, that people can look and then they can put their names in those blocks and then I can just approve it from there. So, you know, people will be able to, there'll be a continual changing thing. I don't know.
What's our experience with reservations? Where are they being made currently?
All those places. Online, city office, and through me. Except for the ball fields, those go directly. All ball fields and courts and things like that go directly to me. And I currently have a paper system for that, a field. So that way, when the priorities come in, because I'll tell you, everybody's gonna want Tuesday and Thursday at 6 o'clock. So that we can have a priority system in place. So a lot of times people will drop them off here and then they just put them in my box. And I'll pick them up from there. But I enter them. So I'm not really sure how to make that a smooth, efficient system. Ideally, it would mostly be done online.
Is there a way for them to pay online too?
We do have a way for people to pay online. It's not a good system. You kind of get what you pay for. So I would like, I was just talking about that with Gordon tonight. It'd be great if we did that and then people would, before their reservation was confirmed, or the reservation or registrations, it works for, they had to click that, you know what I mean, and pay right on the spot.
Mhm.
Well, right now they don't. So you can make a reservation or request and then they can drop off a check in here, or we're still tracking them down for payment, which is a horrible waste of manpower.
Yeah. Should
It's-
be able to reserve their spot until they pay.
And then we're harping at people to pay, and I don't have a good
Why
system.
not, if somebody comes in here to fill out a reservation form, why not get the check right then?
They can, if they come in here to do it. But if they're paying online, we don't have a good way for that.
And is there no plan to improve that?
I am working on it. I would like to invest in some actual real software that will help manage those instead of just going with what we have. So we're working on it. I don't know if it's gonna happen right now. We kind of have tried to always do things on the cheap, and it's,
What about the leftover money from construction? This would seem to be an intimate part of that park project, and getting software for a reservation system would seem to be something that we might want to insert in the priority list.
I'm trying to get that just in the general budget, because we need it not just for the not just for that reservation system, but just in general. I would like a system that we can do reservations as well as registrations, so it's an all-encompassing system.
Have you looked at any? You know,
Oh, yeah.
You know what you want?
I have some different options. It really depends on if we want to absorb the costs ourselves as a city, or if we want to have the participants absorb those costs. You know, because you can get a system that, you know, every registration, you know, $1 of it or whatever goes towards that fee, and basically they're paying for the system. So, I have looked recently very hard at it. Okay, so anything else? Like I said, I'm working that out. It's just confusing. It would be nice to have a a central location. And it works, our calendar system works really well, better than it used to be. It used to be that we'd have a paper calendar system, and so people would turn in and we'd just have a paper calendar. It was horrible. And now that we're at least using a Google Calendar, the office can see it, I can see it, we can all do it. We've had a couple of times where we'll update something, or I'll update something from my phone, and then it hasn't connected yet, and so then somebody else comes in over top of it, and then I have to make some awkward calls, but for the most part, it works really well. And I mean, we're a small department, so it's nice for everybody to be able to have access to see the reservations, as well as the public. I think that makes it a lot easier, I think. Okay, that's it. So I'm trying to work that out.
Okay.
It's a lot of rambling. I also didn't put in here a smoking policy. We talked about it. I can look at what the school does for theirs and try and copy that. I believe that was something the commission had said that they wanted. Am I correct? Yeah.
Sounds reasonable.
Would you include tobacco in that too?
Yeah.
Not just chewing?
Yeah, we do the whole kit and caboodle. Is there anything else you'd like to see? Anything we're missing? I didn't add a camping in here because we said with the park hours, shouldn't have to say a camping.
It was by permit anyway on the old one, so it doesn't really.
Right.
So this is what we're probably getting now.
This is what I'm suggesting.
Okay.
I still need
Yeah.
to tweak it.
Yeah.
There was some discussion about where the permit should be turned into, or who should approve that permit.
Okay. I'm just curious if this is what it's gonna look like.
It's a draft. Redmond and I are going to continue to work on it together.
So,
Yeah.
specifically for the volleyball tournament, I have a question. This says it's not allowed in area organized activities involving minors. So does that mean so that's an adult volleyball tournament, but minors come?
Yeah, but it's not organized for minors.
Right, so then it would still be allowed,
Mhm.
even though there's gonna be minors there.
Right.
And does that mean anybody over minors, meaning 18 and under, right?
Mhm.
Okay, not 21.
So it's really designed so, let's say there was a games happening at Covey Park, Little League games or whatever, then there couldn't be a permit approved for alcohol.
The wording of it's kind of, that's what,
Mhm.
Right.
like, what,
Right.
I understand exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because involving minors, like,
Right.
And-
bring your
Involve-
kid,
yeah.
you're involving
Okay.
a minor.
Like a graduation
Yeah, I
party.
didn't know if they were gonna say no kids can.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
involving minors.
Yeah.
Right?
Just saying. Just throwing that out there.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah, I know. I'm just. It says activities involving minors. Well,
Well,
the main
organized
purpose-
activities. We
Organized
can call them
activities.
disorganized.
Yeah, I'm liking that. Organized chaos. That's perfect.
Yeah.
I can tweak the language.
Yeah.
I stole that line from the Tipton code. Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There will be some bumps in the road.
Yeah,
Yeah. A lot.
Maybe instead of involving minors, designed for minors or something like that.
But this is a city council problem, because no matter what tweaking and suggesting we do, they're gonna decide what the final language is.
Yep.
But I would like to offer suggestions and make sure that it's suiting what our, or at least put the opinions out there to fit the needs of the community, because I feel like that's a,
Right.
And they need to know, like, when graduation comes, what's gonna be their policy.
yeah. I do have the latest recommendation. I didn't print it off from the PD, so we're trying to incorporate their desires as well.
Yeah.
Because the whole activities involving minors. like it's brought up that the volleyball tournament is an issue because people bring their children. Well, the activity is not specifically designated for minors to participate in. So therefore, people are just bringing their children at their own will. So that's, because I keep hearing that that's the issue, the main issue here, is that we're having that, and so that's why I'm agreeing with everyone that the council needs to figure that out, because it's,
That's a motivation.
yeah, I mean, if that's what they're, because that's all I'm hearing from everybody, is that that's the big talking point, is that one specific event.
Yeah, but Shane brings up a point that graduation parties at Veronic are gonna be in violation of this policy. You can have minors there, and people are gonna wanna have beer and wine, because they always have.
And the
And
party
this is gonna stop that.
could be for the minor.
Yeah. Not everybody's
17-year-olds graduate,
Yeah.
just saying.
I had 3 of my 4 were 17. So they did, so that is something that we will have to tweak. One of the things, sorry. One of the updated, I think at the last commission meeting, we kind of went over the,
What they wanted.
yeah. I'm not gonna have it really quick right here. This is the newest one. No, that's the old one. Sorry. One of the items, I want to get the wording right so that you're aware of exactly of how it's phrased. I don't want to. It was no special event allowing for the consumption of alcoholic beverages shall be approved if the event is designated for persons under 18 years old.
So 18-year-old graduates can have beer and not 17-year-old graduates cannot? Is that
Their friends,
Their
age
friends,
younger,
can their
or
friends
whatever.
come?
Yeah, their friends that show up can't.
You can't have your party.
And their family
show up.
members
They're not
that
supposed-
bring-
I mean, the minors aren't supposed to be drinking anyway, but you know, you can just see where it's going to be an issue for, not the kids, but for the parents that are having it and inviting their families and
It just seems like they're picking and choosing what they want to, you know, accept and what not to, because we're bringing up a point here that the one group or one activity is actually designated for adults, but minors are brought
right.
not to participate in that specific.
Yeah, I don't
Is
think
where-
that the volleyball is going to have a problem having alcohol there.
No, I know, but I'm just saying that's the speed bump is the big one that it keeps being brought up to me around. And then my thing to bring up is that the graduation parties, as we're stating, are in violation of the exact code that other people are bringing up, that they're having issues with the volleyball tournament being an issue because there's minors involved, which they're not technically involved, but they're there, and that's what people are having issues with. So it's like this, they just need to
Yeah,
look
but
at
I'll
how
be-
they're presenting it,
But
because
that's not the only issue. We've had a couple, or at least one for sure, council member that stated on Monday night that she thought no alcohol since it was an athletic event. That was her strongest. They were okay with the parties, the graduation parties or things like that, but anything involving athletics, adult athletics, there shouldn't be any alcohol allowed.
What
Well, sure, this is the
adult
hometown of
athletics
Herbert Hoover. We should have total prohibition.
You're gonna lose all the revenue from all the tournaments that just came in, cause they were
The
gonna.
main reason people participate in
Yeah, I
adult
mean-
athletics.
My understanding of how it's written there is volleyball, the adult volleyball leagues is going to be able to have a permit for alcohol. If we start an adult softball, whether it's co-ed or whatever, even if you bring your kids, you're going to be able to, because it's designated for adults. If it was designated that you were having a high school slow pitch softball league, then you would not get permission. But because it's adult league, then you're fine. At least that's the way I understand it, but I think the wording is kind of poor, is what I'm
Okay,
saying.
so we can.
yeah,
work-
that's what I'm.
Yes.
We can tweak wording.
Yeah.
I will tweak tweak wording.
But how do you tweak it for graduation?
I don't know.
That's gonna be the tough one, because
Yep, I'll,
There's a lot of sporting events that happen at graduation parties, I'm just saying. Sorry, I'm being that, I'm sorry, but that's
Nope.
just, they need to work on that because it's not presented very well in that.
so we'll tweak. We will give some more recommendations.
We anticipate having this policy in effect prior to opening Cubby Park? Do we have a target date for opening the park?
It's open.
No, I mean, we're talking about a formal opening.
Well, that's something that we can, do you want to do the Easter egg hunt? Do you want to have a different day for an event?
I think that'd be a good one to do it on.
So,
So you're gonna need a permit if you bring beer to the Easter egg?
You've got problems if you're
Are
really.
games starting in March though?
some leagues are.
So I feel like maybe should we do it before the league stuff starts?
We just don't know. I mean, we always say they're gonna start early, but a lot of times they really don't because of the weather. Just,
The problem that I see is that if we don't have a policy in place by the time a league starts, and they come in with six-packs, expecting to be able to consume alcohol as always has been done with these kinds of events in this location and elsewhere, and we don't have a policy in place, then we're gonna have to change behavior.
well, we're not gonna start any adult leagues. And currently, the Cubby Park, if we're talking about Cubby Park, would fall under just the state where alcohol wouldn't be allowed. The only reason that it's allowed at Veronic is because it's written in the code that way. So all the other parks, it's not allowed at right now.
Except for Village Green.
But that's not ours, that's
No, I know,
that's
I'm
the
saying, I'm
Park
just saying
Service.
that the Park Service, you can have beer or anything you want there,
Yeah.
unless there's an actual event.
No, you can, I talked with, cause I always thought hometown days you couldn't. During hometown days you can.
Can really? Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought it was the opposite.
Yes, I got clarification on that. Pete's like, you're nuts. No, you can't. You can. I'm like, interesting.
Huh.
So free youth Hoover Ball.
Yes!
Whole new twist. Let's.
All right.
Okay.
Let's keep moving. I
Yeah,
leave
yep.
at 7:30.
Yep. Okay. I could probably make a dog class at 7:30. Okay, so yeah, that was the big thing. We're setting up. If anybody had any opinions on registration fees or anything, right now, I was just planning on keeping them as is.
What are they?
For youth sports, so 35, like, so it's 35 or 20, depending on if they have a jersey when they're little, and then flag football and basketball through second grade. Then once they start to hit summer league stuff, and they're traveling and things like that, and they're playing against each other in their more formal practices, then it's 35, because they just get a t-shirt. I mean, it's working. I wouldn't suggest right now making any drastic changes.
Yeah.
I'm also going to present a while back, while we're doing all this good stuff, talked about charging for the park shelter. Right now we don't charge for the park shelter. Starting to charge, and if I remember it was 25, I didn't grab that policy. It was 25 for a half day. So we had the slots like 9 to 2, or then 3 to 9, with a little change over time. So right now you can reserve it for an hour or two or whatever. It's sometimes a little difficult to manage, but if we just do it in blocks, that'll be better. And we tried to hit like the blocks that people would usually use. Or you can do the
Right
whole
now,
day.
there's no fee for the.
Right now there's no fee.
Better get your system up and going.
I know. I know. We do
That paper
it.
itself.
We
There's
do it
no
all
fee
by
now.
hand, and it can be very time consuming.
Ours is all by hand too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, so that's what I got. And budget update. Is that good to move on? You good with that?
Yes.
Okay, so here's also some fun little new things this year. So with the budget, we're going to, and this isn't a confirmed thing, we are going to pay for like currently Public Works mows our stuff, but we're gonna break out their salaries and pay for them to do the mowing. It's gonna be kind of just money switching around here, because right now most of their salaries for that are coming out of general fund, so they're just appropriate. So like, I think it was a total of 45. It was like 30% of a salary from somebody, 30% from somebody else. Anyway, so if you look, that's why the salary line is increased quite a bit, and that was the big thing there. Don't know if that's actually going to happen, but that's what we're trying to do. The other thing is we are going to be paying for our own water at the parks. All departments, I'm emphasizing all departments, are going to be paying for their own mowing and their own water. So I put that in there. Don't know how much it's going to be with the irrigation system. We have no idea, depending on the rain system. And I mean, really, it's just a guess right now. So we put money in for that. Also pay a percentage of like equipment and maintenance and things like that for the mowers. So that would be, it's a substantial increase from last year, but that would be the reason why. Capital improvements, it's a huge jump in the line there. The Hoover Nature Trail was seal coated about maybe 8-9 years ago, and it's past due for that. We're probably and about 2 years ago we were going to reseal it, redo it. We didn't get it done, and we were going to use road use tax for that. We have been informed that we can no longer use road use tax for trail projects, so it has to just come out of the budget. So I'm putting that.
Wasn't there gonna be a bridge rebuilt on the
Yeah.
trail?
Yeah, it didn't fly through DNR. We had to give that grant money back. So anyway, that's for the seal coating, and then also to put a path from the shelter to the bathrooms, to do a cement path there for accessibility to the bathrooms from the shelter at Bronick Park. There's a lot of work that we have done down there in the shelter, parking lot. It looks great down there, and that would kind of be the last piece on that. I would kind of be surprised if that goes through, but that's what I got. If we don't do the trail probably this year, I think I'll most likely go back to gravel. Any questions? So we did that, and I gave you a list. Sorry, I'm kind of probably out of order in your packet there. A list of some of the park needs. We kind of did that. Required. There have been some other things that recently I've thought of. We need a ball machine, a pitching machine. We don't have that out there. I need to get the building, the internet is to the building, but the building isn't wired yet. So we're gonna need to get that. We have camera systems. We had gotten a grant last year from Cedar County Foundation to help cover cameras out at the park. So what we'll need the internet for that. So that's what I got.
And this was part of the excess funds, or is this stuff you're gonna have to budget for? So we talked about,
This is excess stuff.
that's what we talked about, was the excess, yeah. So none of this stuff would have to come out of the actual,
Mhm. No.
So which is need to have and which is nice to have?
That would be number 4, additional suggested Cubby Park amenities, but not funded.
So everything above 4 is
Yeah.
need to have.
Yep. Can't run a concession stand without equipment, and you need the picnic, you need the tables there. We don't have those currently. You need way up the top, dumpster enclosure is required by our code.
All right, so this is $35,000 in
Yep.
need to have. And,
Yep.
and what's the pool of money available?
Total left over right now,
Yeah.
I believe it's around 250.
Okay, so we've got something north of $200,000 that has to be utilized in some capacity. And what's the council's thinking in that regard?
They would like a lot to go to the creek maintenance down at Veronic Park. So we're gonna get our need to have through there, and then, because we can't run a ball field without need to have. And the other ones, that's their option if they would like to. I think the trellis extension, do you all know what I'm talking about when I say that? I think, so in the pavilion right now, we have it, so there's supposed to be, it's not necessarily a trellis, it could be a pergola, whatever you want to call it, that will kind of come out from the building and then down, and we have it was cut from the budget, but it'll really make that pavilion really look nice. It'll be a good thing. So that was there.
Do we not have any of these items?
None of those items.
Okay.
There's several of them, I think, that will come in under the dumpster enclosure. That was the engineer's estimate. I think that will come in under. I don't know what else will come in under.
I mean, if you take the parking lot extension out of it, the rest of it's really affordable on the
Yeah,
additional items too.
yeah. I think we're gonna need that parking lot.
Oh, I'm sure you will, but just if you look at that though, that might be the
Yeah.
hardest thing to budget for though too.
Right,
If you got the excess money, that might be the hardest thing to get in the future.
yeah.
Advocate for that and maybe the trail seal code. That'll be bad if they lose the seal on the trail too.
Yeah.
If it goes to gravel, that won't be good. That needs to be done.
That's gonna be a nightmare.
Agree. I agree. That's why I put it in the budget and I'm asking
Mhm.
for it this year.
Absolutely. That would be very great.
Okay, so that's where we're at. I had a budget meeting this morning, or this afternoon, in Redmond, to kind of go over things, and then I present at next council meeting, the budget. I didn't really ask for anything more, but it might look a little confusing with the additional salaries, things like that added in there. Public Works, like I said, will do all the mowing in the park, the trimming, things like that. We still will be responsible for the field maintenance, the dragging, the chalking,
Why not put the additional labor costs on the building and grounds operations line? Because it's something that is not really, it's not a salary of the Parks Department staff. It's subsidizing the city for the activity that they're providing. So, I mean, just for appearance purposes, you show them a big line item for salaries, they're gonna perhaps think twice about why that has to be done. But if you show it as maintenance, that's what they want.
yeah, but it goes in the salary. I mean, the salaries just go in the salary line, and they're already city employees.
Hopefully they'll notice a significant lowering in public work side of it, because you're transferring, basically it's the same amount of money, you're just putting it in different
Yeah.
places for accounting. So hopefully they'll notice the difference there and be like, oh, okay,
Except Public Works is adding a full-time employee,
oh,
so
that would change things then.
it's,
It's an accounting thing then. Okay.
I understand what you're saying though. Okay. Okay,
We're good, adjourn.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Move to adjourn. He's second.
Anybody opposed? Alright, so moved.